On camera, recorded. Good, good, good. Evidence.
Evidence on both.
Hey babe. Oat milk has been rising in popularity like crazy in the last decade or so. Have you ever considered where it comes from? What happens? How the process is? Hey, my name is Nyuta. I'm the assistant roaster at Camden Coffee Roastery. Me and a team of talented directors and camera people were sent to an oat farm to see how oats are processed. Having gone through a long journey of looking for the right oat milk that suits me as a regular oat milk drinker and as a barista, I was very curious to see how the oat milk that ticks all the boxes for me, Wild Oats, is made and how they achieve that quality and that level of professional compatibility with coffee. There are a few oat milks out in the industry that deliver a good flavor and a relatively good experience, but mask a lot of the nuances with coffee. Learning how to roast in the last year, I found even more importance and passion for how nuanced and detailed coffee flavors are, and putting so much work into achieving a flavor. I want that flavor to come through no matter what coffee the person is drinking, be it an Americano, a latte, a mocha. The coffee has to come through because that's our speciality. Off we went on a road trip. Good coffee, ready to go. We took a vlog on the way, had a lot of fun. You know, good vibes are important for the whole process of figuring this out. When we got there, Ed, the founder of Wild Oats, met us at the entrance, and we had a bit of a chat with Jonathan, who was showing us around the farm and explaining everything for the day, looking after us for the day. He got us loads of biscuits, teas and coffees. The raw material. Jono, look.
What am I looking at? You're going to eat them like you did us?
Tea, there was some tea, yeah.
I'm not going to eat them like I did with my nuts. I'm going to eat this. Very on brand, I think. I'm going to take two. And told us a bit of the background information of farming as a whole.
In the last month, because it was only harvested a couple of months ago. So
How has the huge popularity of oat milk affected the market and the farming for you?
It's been funny because actually these guys from Camden have actually been part of the lab. Well, not of that lab, but of my lab, because we did 7 recipes with them, and each time it was taking it to Jack and the people at Camden and saying, "Hey guys, try this. Tell us what you think," and just really road testing, because each year we find that there's, in the same way that beer always changes depending on the barley in the year, we find that actually the oat does change. The really good baristas and really discerning customers can tell. They can taste it and they'll go, this is a different batch of oats. These oats, that's interesting because you taste it and you go, this is slightly different, and the production's been the same, the ingredients the same, everything's the same, and all you can go is, this was grown somewhere slightly different or had a slightly different life cycle.
That one day is killing me.
I got to ask a few questions, but then my direct said to not ask too many because the lighting wasn't good. And I appreciated that. I'd rather be more in the moment. Anyway. You know, we're transparent. Okay. After we asked a few questions and had some coffees and teas, Jonathan was taking us around the facilities. We're going to look at the production of all the big machines and see if we can climb on any. So, come. We saw big metal tanks that the oats are stored in. A lot of quality control, reminding me of how coffee is processed on farms. Interesting to see how much detail they go into, because this is a relatively smaller farm. UK farms tend to be quite small, so there's more attention to detail. What was really cool is that they built a whole separate storage facility processing unit just for oats, because they wanted to keep gluten-free products fully gluten-free. We went to a big storage space full of, what, was it wheat or barley? There's a big mountain. Come on.
So that's
And Jonathan felt my childish vibe. And he said, do you want to climb the mountain? And I said, yes. So I climbed and then I slid down and it was a great load of fun. Part of me regrets not climbing to the very top. Maybe next time. We went to look at, it was like the big container that transports the things that are inside the harvested oats called groats. Like this probably has a function. It must be for ventilation.
Yes.
It is.
Yes, it is an antibacterial purposes.
Oh, absolutely. Everything has antibacterial purposes here.
Yes, including you.
And Jonathan said that these big containers transport them from one area of the facility to another area. And again, it's all very contained and very gluten-free. Seeing how much effort farmers go through to be able to provide for the rising intolerances in our society is very impressive, because it takes significant financial investments which will be paid off over a long period of time. So yeah, respect for all the effort that they're putting in. Then we went inside the sorting facility. We saw some big cool machinery.
And then the initial machine tests for moisture, protein, and the density of that crop. So this is an industry standard Infotech, which is calibrated twice a day back to central machines. That little box costs about 40 grand. Wow. So it's classic lab equipment cost. Great.
And this is what you showed us where we drop it?
Yeah.
And this is where we store?
That's the holding silo, which is behind the dryer. So that's called your wet bin, which runs the dryer. And then you've got your nest of bins, which are there.
One of the coolest machines that Jonathan was showing us was a machine where you can program the machine based on, for example, the weight or the pigment of something that you don't want there. And there's, like he said, a little puff of air makes it fly out. So that's like a way of filtering the good quality, which is similar to coffee processing. For example, when we look at washed coffee process, the first thing that happens after the coffee cherries are brought to the processing station, they're floated into water, they're put into water. And the coffee cherries that float to the top, they're picked out because they're defected ones. So that also ensures higher quality in the end in a customer's cup. It's cool to see the details of coffee processing and similarities in oat farming. Just overall makes me realize how much work farmers put in. Agriculture is a mad thing. There's a lot going on. This is all the waste.
Thanks.
Look. This is all the stuff we didn't want in the production that they shake out. We carried on going through the facility, and Jonathan said that there's also going to be a new machine installed which is going to have AI in it, which is going to self-teach itself to recognize any unneeded particles within the oats. I'm not quite sure. This seems quite complex for me. I just roast coffee, but it's really cool to hear how technology is going to be helping farmers, because when he's talking about tons, thousands of tons of product, the amount of energy that has to go into going through that amount of, like, yeah, it just seems quite phenomenal. Finally, we were shown to some big machines. I climbed some machines. I sat in a seat of one of the machines. Felt badass. Like I could run the farm for a moment. I was in the main seat of this.
Yeah, so-
and this is the hairs that you said we take out?
Oh, that's the barley oil. No, that's barley oil. So
Can
there's
I
your barley
take
oil.
one?
Yeah.
I want the whole pile, thank you. Okay, today with my...
Long-eared. And there's a play by Mozart where they rattle the ears of barley, and if you can hear the rattle, there's love, and if you can't, it's the devil's love, and you're not allowed to marry, and it's a whole bit of folklore.
These blades slice open the soil, and then that's where the seeds get put in by the rest of the machinery. And then that moment gone. After we finished the tour, and my brain was a bit fried, we sat down for some sandwiches. We managed to pull Jonathan to the side to ask some more deeper questions about the farming industry, anything he'd want to share with us and the viewers. Hey Jonathan.
Hello.
Thank you so much for giving us a bit of your time.
No problem.
The tour, the showing around the farm was really educational. You let me climb some crazy machinery. That was a lot of fun. As a small sign of gratitude, we brought some of our best coffee
Oh, wow.
for you so that you
Oh,
could
that's
give
so
it
kind.
a try.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely.
It's whole bean, but grind it for whatever you need.
Yeah.
We should be enough in the office for a bit of time.
Yeah, definitely. No, I love my coffee, so that's great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Amazing. It goes so well with wild oats. Thank you
Does
so much
it?
for your hard work.
Well, I'll have to try that. No, not at all. Thank you.
Such a pleasure. You know, so many people as well, I offer to make oat if they're ordering a dairy flat white. And if I say, if you don't like it, I'll remake it with dairy and, you know, you don't need to pay extra.
Yeah.
And so many people say, I'm absolutely happy. Like 95% of people say, this is great.
Stick with the oat.
Stick with the oat.
Yeah.
So the hard
No, that's
work you
great.
and Ed are putting in is really translating. I was surprised to hear that you said that the demand for oats isn't translating to the farms. Would you say that there's like a need to produce more demand in the cafes, or does the porridge industry need to rock up for you to get a bigger demand for oats on your farm?
I mean, oat demand, I think globally is climbing, and oat drinks. I mean, there were some big numbers talked about in increases annually in oat drink consumption, but we haven't really seen it come through this level. Things are increasing, or different brands, organic, gluten-free, all that sort of thing's great. That's those categories are definitely expanding, but as a whole, we're not seeing big increases in demand for oats. No.
Maybe not yet, but you've arranged a whole separate production for just gluten-free oats.
Yeah.
That's supposed to bring in more business opportunity as well.
Yeah, I would think. Well,
over time.
Yeah, and I think food standards are getting higher. People there are more and more incidents of or people being diagnosed with different sort of
Intolerances.
Intolerances, that's the word, exactly that. So, yeah, I would think that that should expand over time. I would think, and as you say, we've made investments and are making investments, so that should come through, I think.
I hope it does for you. I hope it does. From my perspective, the bubble that I live in, it feels like more people are making environmentally conscious decisions. People are going for plant-based decisions, even if not constantly, but just to switch it up. It's crazy that imported goods are cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
ridiculous.
Ridiculous. It makes me wonder, how do they make it cheaper? How do they make it so cost effective?
Yeah.
What corners are they cutting?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And I mean, and I think that's where people, this whole sort of race to the bottom scenario, people have to see through that a bit, don't they, and say, actually, I'm identifying with that brand because its ethos is right, it's local, it's produced here, it's supporting UK agriculture, you know, the environmental bits ticks all those boxes. I think that is critical.
Talking about agriculture, you've mentioned before about the buzzword soil regen.
Oh yeah.
Would you be able to elaborate on the concept of fallow and alternatives and why farmers such as yourself choose to go one way or the other?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the whole regenerative agriculture is a very sort of broad church, and to me, regenerative agriculture is a phrase for good, responsible farming practice, and any farmer who wants to farm long term, which the vast majority do, the starting point is looking after the soil, looking after the environment. So that message is firmly home. So, you know, farmers pretty much everywhere, one of the key drivers now is to make sure that you're building up organic matter in the soil, increasing worm numbers, looking after the sort of whole microbial activity in the soil, because a healthy soil provides healthy crops.
And better yield as well.
Better yield for generally for less money, less inputs, and within that you're also looking after the environment.
Yeah.
You know, so you improve. You know, it's a win-win really for everybody. Yeah, that is very important.
Bringing awareness to people about that, it seems like an important task.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah,
Hopefully
definitely.
this video reaches some people who can start changing their perspectives.
Yeah, exactly, and changing their habits. And to be fair, the farming industry hasn't been great in advertising what it does. And you know, everyone drives to work or is on a train looking over hedgerows. Well, a lot of people don't sort of know what's going on, and we've got to get better at that, because that's people's, you know, that's people's food.
Is there anything, whilst you're on camera, anything you'd want to say to people, like from a farmer's perspective, that you think is really undersold, untold? Putting you on the spot, I'm sorry.
No, not at all. Loads of things. I mean, you know, people have different budgets, don't they? You know, different amounts they're prepared to pay for food. But I think one of the critical things is to prioritise your food, prioritise your nutrient sort of loading, take more time to prepare food and make it a bit more of an occasion, rather than, you know, instant food, you know, ready meals, all that sort of thing. I think if people go back to a more wholesome approach, it doesn't actually cost you any more. It might cost you in time to do that, but I think that's hugely appreciated by everybody, and actually it is better for you.
I agree. There's a lot of research coming out in the last decade or so about our connection of the microbiome to mental health.
Yeah.
And microbiome really depends on the food that we feed our bodies.
Yeah, and I think food, you know, is less nutrient dense now than it used to be, because a lot of food is grown in far more intensive conditions and situations, simply because we're trying to feed more people for less.
Yes.
Well, actually, I think people should be looking to buck that trend. And if people can afford, you know, X amount of Nike trainers or an iPhone or things, you know, I think people need to reprioritise where food sits in their disposable income.
Yeah.
30 years ago, or so, I think people were spending over 25% of their disposable income on food. Now it's much less than 10.
What?
So that just sort of says it all, doesn't it? So on one hand, you could argue the food industry's done a great job feeding a lot of people for less money, but actually, has it, you know, have we sort of taken a wrong turn somewhere? And I personally think we should reassess that.
I'm getting the image of the snake eating her own tail.
Yes.
You know that symbol?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah.
Just having a quick look at my notes.
Perfect.
You know, I loved what you said earlier about the effect of post-Brexit. on farming and
Yeah.
how the standard practices and the control of quantity and price has been affected, because UK isn't providing any alternative standards.
No, what in food
Yeah.
quality?
Yes, quality and price.
You know, we had to devise our own support system, which by and large we've done. But you know, this government don't seem to be prioritising agriculture, food. You know, we're more and more reliant upon imports. Well, we went down that road with energy, didn't we? And the Ukraine situation happened. Suddenly, everyone's scampering about to put solar, wind, or whatever. So actually, we need to look after a homegrown food production. You know, we need to support it. So, you know, and likewise on a small sort of overcrowded island, we've also got to look after the environment. So, you know, it's a hard balance to strike, but you know, I don't think this government's got the wherewithal. You know, it's a very urban-based society, urban-based government. You know, it needs to listen more to farming and the rural lobby.
Yeah, I can see the importance of that from our conversation.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Just what you said about how we're spending less than 10% of our disposable income on food is wild to me.
Yeah, it is.
The pressure from outside is pushing you to get creative with solutions, and I really admire that.
Yeah.
You're not standing still.
No, and you know, businesses of our size, you know, you can't afford to, and you know, you've got to look for those added value bits and pieces, people who sort of tune in to what we're doing, and I think slowly but surely, you know, we're winning that battle.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're here to support.
Yeah, and brilliant. Today, you know, everybody's sort of wedded to it, and everybody is, you know, spending more on their oat drink because they're supporting the whole ethos, aren't they? They're backing the whole thing, which over time is absolutely the right. I think you're ahead of the curve. I think where you sort of cutting edge people will go, others will follow.
Yes, it's so true. It makes me happy how popular oat milk is at Camden Coffee Roastery.
Yeah.
People seem very impressed and happy.
Yeah, and if there's anything we can do to help, you know, exhibit and show where that oat drinks come from and everything that's gone into it, we're more than happy to try and put something together.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it just
Thank
adds
you
to
so
people's
much.
story, doesn't it? An identity of it.
Yeah, collaboration is the way forward.
Definitely. Is that okay?
I think that's great.
Brilliant.
Oh, Jonathan,
you.
thank you so much for your time.
Not
Thank
at
you
all.
for answering my
Absolute
questions.
pleasure.
Such a pleasure.
And thank
to
you
meet
very much for my coffee.
Enjoy.
I shall think of you all when I try a cup.
Please order
Thank you.
more if you want
Yeah,
more.
exactly.
We'll send you a little
Perfect.
discount, easy. Thank
That's
you,
wonderful.
Jonathan.
Thank you.
That was very insightful. Jonathan is such a lovely man. I was honoured to have the chance to have a one-on-one conversation with him. And afterwards, we also pulled Ed to the side and asked him some wild oats related questions. Hey Ed,
How there?
thank you so much for inviting us to see the oat farming production part of your wild oats.
Thank you very much for coming. It's great to have you guys here.
It felt so good, as you were just saying, climbing through that mountain of wheat was just incredible.
It was pretty amazing, and you know, we've got the barley and the oats and the wheat. Yeah, it's great that you get to see how it all works. You know, different parts of farming coming together to really work well together. Now, obviously, we're here to talk about oats, and specifically oats that are gluten-free.
Yes.
So that's really important we get that out first. But yeah.
Absolutely, because I was going to say it's so impressive that the whole facility has created a separate segment where it's only oats, so that it's definitely gluten-free. That must have been a lot of work, but now you can say confidently that your milk is gluten-free.
Yeah, so it was really a case of understanding what we needed to do to achieve that. And obviously, you know, you start in the field, and it's all about chances of cross-contamination. So you start in the field, and you start off with making sure there's no contaminants in the field, and then you go into screening, and you saw the screening machine. Awesome bit of kit, and then it's about having dedicated storage and transportation and making sure that everything is kept up to food standards, obviously, but also up to higher standards that we impose on ourselves to make sure that we are delivering the best product.
Yeah, with the rise of intolerances in the UK, it's so essential. It puts you apart from other brands to have everything in one place. You don't need to buy something that's specifically gluten-free. Yours is only. That makes it so easy.
It was a dream of mine, and I didn't think it would happen, and I'm really glad that we've managed to get it there.
Wow.
Just because when we started, it was a hard thing to make sure everything worked, and then luckily working with amazing people like you guys, you know, you helped me develop the recipe, you helped me trial samples, you did so much, and then having you here and having you see where it's all come from and how it's all worked, it's just so amazing.
Thank you. It's been so amazing for me as well. The whole team has had such a great time.
I'm never going to forget watching you climb that hill of wheat. Just absolutely brilliant. And thinking, oh God, no.
And I was thinking, oh God, yes.
It was awesome. Like the effort. Oh, so impressive.
Thanks, babe. Thank you. You know, I was wondering, you mentioned about the recipe and you've come into, as you said, the roastery. We've tasted different milks, which to me tasted quite similar, but you were tasting the differences and I was so impressed with the attention to detail. I wanted to ask in regards to oil in milk, because throughout my career, I've had quite a few people comment to me about alternative milks for coffee having oils and that pushing people away. Then I did some further research about rapeseed oil, and it was saying that depending on how processed it is, it can be beneficial or not beneficial. Would you mind to bring some clarity into this topic?
So firstly, talk about rapeseed oil. So rapeseed oil is a brilliant product if it's processed in the right way. Now, if it's processed in the correct way, you have a cold press where it's a very, very, very low energy, low intensity, and you're only getting sort of the virgin olive oil of the pressing. So it's really, really just the easily available oil. And so you're not forcing anything through. Whereas if you're hot pressing, it's in essence almost cooking it and pressure cooking it. So you're really pulling out everything. And the more pressure you put in, the worse the things that you pull out from there are. So we try to use the best oil that we can. But on top of that, oil in milk in general is a really hot button topic. But it's really crucial to understand that two things. One, oats are, in ours, are 10.5% of the total volume, which means that your oil is about 0.1% of the volume of oat milk.
Oh, that's
so
tiny.
Tiny, tiny, tiny. And the reason that there's oil in there is to help it act like cow's milk. Cow's milk has a really, really complicated structure with proteins, fats, sugars, plus all the vitamins and minerals that are in there. And so if you want to create a product that mimics cow's milk in its foamability, mouthfeel, taste, and the way that it partners or pairs with coffee, you've got to have the same ingredients in there. And as we've seen with just oats, you don't get the same ingredients. You get a very watery, sometimes quite stodgy product. So it's really important to understand why you're putting it in there. And the same goes for all ingredients in oat milk. They are there to do a specific job.
Yes. You know, you mentioned something I had on my mind as a question as well about the mineral content, because I see on the ingredients list there's iodine, B12, vitamin D. As a plant-based myself, I know that those are essential nutrients for my daily full nutrient intake. I was wondering if you put them in with that intention in mind.
That's exactly why they're there. So we have a real responsibility that if people are replacing cow's milk in their diet, they are losing all of the beneficial vitamins and minerals that could be in that cow's milk. Therefore, it's our responsibility to make sure that it's in the milk for you. So in the same way that you have fortified bread, to make sure that if all you're eating is bread, you make sure you get all the vitamins and minerals you need for a balanced diet. We've got to make sure you're getting all the vitamins and minerals you need for a balanced diet. B12, iodine, vitamin D, you need them in your diet, and if you don't have them, you can get very unwell. So we've got to make sure you've got them.
Wow. Thank you so much for all that effort. I really appreciate it myself.
It's wonderful to hear that you appreciate it, but more importantly, it's wonderful to hear that you understand the importance of it. Because, you know, if we don't do these things, then the quality will drop and we won't have the same safeguarding and we won't have as good food. And if you don't have good food, you don't have a good life.
Absolutely. The mental health connection with the food that we eat is becoming more and more apparent with more research coming out. Yeah.
Food is such a personal and emotional thing for so many people. It evokes so many memories, and you know it can become so ritualistic, especially with coffee.
Yes.
So it's really key to understand that we have a product that matches that,
Yeah.
and not just a product, but you know, a company that wants to get the best out of it and wants to work with people. I hope is more than just a company.
Wow. My final question was, you mentioned before that your dissertation involved you dehusking by hand 10 kilos of oats,
Yeah.
which sounds like a ridiculous task. Was that the beginning of your curiosity into the oat industry? Is that what brought you into the oat milk industry?
I think it's what nearly made me leave it, to be honest. It was awful. I spent all winter in a cold barn in Wales, one at a time with a razor blade. I wish I'd had. I wish, if I knew you could go like that and they would come off. But we had to make sure we were protecting them. So it was because we were doing infrared scanning with a laser to establish the establish the chemical and vitamin content. So no, I did it because I loved oats and cereals and was really interested about what made them grow, and was really interested about our relationship with them. And that's the reason it's called Wild Oats. And so, yeah, I'd say that's where the love affair really started. I was interested in farming and, you know, sustainable farming, putting the nature back in the farming and trying to be holistic with it. And oats, you know, I discovered were this product that gives you a really, really low impact on the ground, on the farm. And so you can grow it in quite a biodiverse style. And because of that, I sort of realised that oats are a really good option. They're low intensity, they're eco-friendly, and they're great.
Working as a barista, again, I've had so many people tell me that oat milk is very sweet because they put sugar inside. And I tend to disagree with this. Could you please bring some clarity into this topic as well?
Okay, two things. There's no added sugar in our oat milk. Second thing, oats have always historically been a source of sugar.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Because of the glucose.
Well, yeah, be it your warhorse or your person starting off for the day. I had a bowl of porridge for breakfast this morning. In fact, I had two. It was a 2 porridge day. So I knew I wanted to have the right amount of sugar. But it's slow release sugar. Oats have the same ingestion response, if that's the right word, as protein. So they make you feel full. And then your body, and then it's slow release sugar. Then oats contain something called beta-glucan. Beta-glucan helps you regulate your blood insulin level. So actually oats are better for regulating your blood insulin level. So you don't need to add sugar to oat milk. Oats are pretty much all sugar anyway. And they'll help you regulate the sugar that's in your blood better than anything else, especially if you are having to watch your weight or you have concerns about that, which a lot of people do.
Incredible.
Sorry, that was really long-winded.
Oh, babe, thank you so much. It was great to hear these answers from you as an expert and to hopefully bring clarity to the people watching and for people who want to feel that encouragement to be more encouraged now to choose oat. Thank you. Thank you for your
so
time.
much for having me. Thank you. This has been awesome. I can't believe you guys have come here.
Yeah.
Sorry about all the work going on.
No, this is great. I love this. Thank you, babe. I loved how much detail Ed goes into in his answers. It makes me even more appreciative of the final product of Wild Oats because I can see how much energy, care, and intention has gone into it from start to finish. Coming from the coffee industry and seeing the whole process of oat sorting, harvesting, production, makes me feel even more confident of suggesting people to try oat milk instead of dairy because I now see that I can't quite find any flaws. I personally am quite pleased that the product that we're providing at Camden Coffee Roastery is so high quality and filled with so much good intention. It just makes me happy and appreciate the place where I work because as we discussed with Ed and Jonathan off camera, how there are other milks out there which cost less, but they have qualities which aren't, in my opinion, desired. I wouldn't want to share that with customers who are paying money for the product that we're providing. So it makes me feel grateful that I work for a company that's willing to invest extra not just into the coffee that we source, because we source some banging coffees, and we pay the farmers that harvest the coffee cherries, we pay them significantly more than non-speciality would, to say it very lightly. But we also invest extra money into further products like oat milk. Thank you for coming along on this journey with me, Claudia, and Jono. Stay tuned for next video. I hope we can travel around and show you more parts that make up what we do as a whole.
I would like to be able to see the road.
It's 4:05.
We finished.